Okay, so the purpose of today's video is to give you the truth about aluminum boats. So maybe you're in the market for a new boat and you're considering an aluminum boat, and I bet in your mind when you hear aluminum boat, most of us think that our options probably look a little bit like this, which this boat is perfect. You could go fishing and catch plenty of fish in this boat, but most of us, we probably want a few more options. We want a little bit more razzle dazzle, you know what I'm saying? You want a little bit more, and you think that probably if you're going to fish out of an aluminum boat, this is about all that you have for offerings. That's actually not the case. There's a lot of things that you probably should consider and you probably should know. In this video, I want to show you everything that you have out there for offerings when it comes to a family boat for you. Okay, what do we already know about aluminum boats? Number one, everybody knows aluminum boats are rugged. You can run them over things. If you have any kind of issues, it's typically really easy to fix aluminum, so that makes them really durable. Secondly, is you can use them for anything. If you like to go duck hunting, if you like to go fishing, if you like to go tubing, if you like to sink brush, crappie fishing, it doesn't matter what you like to do on the water. Aluminum boats are very versatile. You can do a lot of things with them. Secondly, or that's not secondly, this would be thirdly. Are we on four? How many points are we on? I don't know how many points we're on, but they're light. Aluminum boats are light, so you can tow them with a mid-size SUV, no problem. I like that, so they're good for younger people too. But if you have a family and maybe you don't want to buy a 3/4 ton truck and you just want to use your 1/2 ton, or maybe you just want to use a mid-size SUV, these boats are light for the size they are, so you don't have to buy a new tow vehicle, which leads us to the last point. I don't know anybody that doesn't care about money. Aluminum boats a lot of times cost a lot less to have, not just because the bottom line on the boat oftentimes is a lot cheaper, but the fact that there's less maintenance. If you don't have a shop or a garage, you can leave an aluminum boat outside and you don't have to worry about the sun degrading the product. It's lighter, so you don't need a bigger tow vehicle. You don't have to buy an extra tow vehicle. You can tow it with your minivan oftentimes if you buy the right boat. Everybody cares about money. I don't care who you are. So this is the first time I've ever been to an aluminum boat manufacturing process. I've never actually seen the process of these boats built before, and there's so much I didn't know about the build process on an aluminum boat. I think by the time you finish seeing all the things they do to make a boat get at least to this point, you're gonna have a whole different appreciation for aluminum boats and how much work it takes. It's actually, I would probably argue that an aluminum boat takes a lot more work, a lot more people. There's a lot more fabrication on a boat like this than it is any other boat on the market. Let me show you how they build these boats. One thing people may tell you about aluminum boats when you're considering one is that the finishing touches just aren't there. It's just not quite as polished of a product. Okay, that's a huge misconception. If it were 30 years ago, I would say that probably would be the case. But I'm here at the Lund Boats Factory. I actually have a Lund. I have a Lund Impact 1775 that I take my kids out fishing and tubing on. I want to show you some of the boats that they have here at Lund. It's not a economy finished boat. This one is called a crossover. It's more like a, almost like a ski boat. You can use, of course you can fish out of it, but they call it a crossover because it's, obviously you can see the bimini top up here. You can use it to ski out of. I want you to look at some of the finishes on it. You got chrome beveled gauges, the carpet, there's EVA flooring in it, which is really awesome to have. You know, it stays a lot cooler, it's easier to clean. But these boats are premium finished. This is not like an economy based, no finishing touches type of boat. It's done really nice. So let's look at one of the Impacts over here. So this one right here is called the Impact 7. This is the 1875. I have a 1775, so I'm familiar with this layout. But that, look, you can seat up to 6 people in here. There's 1, 2, 3. There's a place for you to set one more in there. And they have the jump seats in the back. Okay, so this model right here is their Impact series. This is actually one of the boats that I have. This is, if you're a fisherman, you want to focus on fishing, but you want to do some other things. You want to go tubing, joyriding, saltwater fishing. I would say probably the Impact is probably gonna be the best boat for you. This is the boat I have. This one's a little bit bigger than my boat. You can see this one actually has a windshield. You can order it with, you can order it 3 ways, with the windshield, with the console. You can even do a tiller steer on the Impact. Like on that Impact series, how many different models, colors, accessories, you don't even have to be exact. There's that many, isn't it? Like what?
Well, when you think about it, so you have a 17 Impact, an 18 Impact, and a 20 Impact, right? So So you can do them in a full windshield. Then you can also do them in a side console. So 17, 18 impact side console. That's 5 different models. And then color combinations, you've got red, black, white, gray, blue, and green. So that's 6.
6 colors.
And then so you can do all solid tones. So you can do just those 6. Then you could take those 6 and you could also do them with black bottoms if you want to, or you could do it with a Silverstone bottom if you want to.
It's almost
so you
unlimited.
Really take 6 times 3, so 18 different colors.
18 different options that you have.
And then besides that, then there's also a different graphics package. So this is our standard graphics package.
Yeah.
There's also a premium edition graphic that you can add to each one of those color schemes as well.
Is one of those here?
Go from 18 to 36.
36 different options. You call this the standard?
This is kind of our standard. This
graphic?
one has raised letter upgrade on it, but this is our standard.
Cool thing about this series of boat, if you're a serious fisherman, but you still need a boat that you can take the kids and the family out on and go joyriding and go tubing, hanging out at the sandbar, but you're a serious tournament fisherman too, you can do all of those things with this particular boat. Mainly because you can order it a bunch of different ways. But I'll show you everything. Like, this isn't, you can see how good this is finished. The boat is not finished half-heartedly. I've got carpet in mine, just like you see right here on the front deck, because I think it just offers better grip. It's easier to use. And then, of course, vinyl in the bottom, I think is a better option, because oftentimes this is where it stays the most wet, dirtiest, and nastiest at, and it makes it easy to clean up. So we know that aluminum boats are a lot lighter than other boats that are the same size. And oftentimes when our mind hears the fact that an aluminum boat is light, we usually think, well, if it's light, it's probably not going to ride that good. The ride's not going to be that smooth because it is light. But one thing that's cool about Lund is they've done some really cool things with their hull design that makes the boat ride really well. It's way above my pay grade. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I know it makes sense. And being a Lund owner myself, I can confirm that they do ride pretty good. I'm going to let Kurt tell you about that.
The competition, their boat's going to start here like this, but then the hull is going to go like this, right? So the bottom footprint is a lot narrower than ours. When we talked about that 2-piece hull design with the Lund, what you're doing is we keep it pretty straight here to give us a wider footprint. Wider footprint leads to better stability and more storage inside the boat, right? You also have, when you look at this, you can see the reverse chime. And what this is going to do is when you're out on the water, it's going to help push the water down like this and get the boat running higher out of the water, give you a smoother, better ride with lower horsepower too.
Okay, so when you hear people talk about aluminum boats and how they're rugged and durable, that's the whole reason why right there. You won't find another boat that has that much reinforcement in the hull. I'm going to show you exactly how these hulls start out. They're light, but there's a reason why the boats ride so well and why they're so durable. I'm going to show you how it starts out. I had no idea that they put this much thought into the hull of an aluminum boat. I just thought it was just a couple pieces of aluminum welded together. They stick it together and shoot it out the door. It's really not that simple. They put a lot of thought process into this, and that's why it's such a good boat. Okay, I don't care who you are, how much money you make. Everybody considers the price of a boat when they're buying it, but we don't often visit the resale value of a boat, how much it depreciates after you've used it for 5, 10 years, 15 years, maybe 20 years. One of the things that I've found have been the most interesting about aluminum boats is the resale value holds up better than any other boat that you can buy, and this is the reason why. Remember at the beginning of this video, we talked about how aluminum boats are a lot more rugged, they're a lot more durable. So the fact that if you buy this boat right here, this is the Impact 1875, even if you left it outside, the boat just doesn't degrade with sun, wind, rain. It's almost like a non-perishable. If you buy a banana, the banana's bad in a week, okay? But if you buy something, canned foods, you can have it forever. Think of it like that. You buy a boat like this, the stringers are never going to go bad. They don't rot. They don't degrade. You don't have water issues with them, with the stringers or any of the internal components on the boat. So when you go to resell it, it's just like the new buyer is buying a boat the same way they bought it when it came off the showroom floor. Of course, maybe you have to replace carpet. Of course, maybe you got to replace seats after 15 to 20 years. but the boat integrity itself, it never degrades, which means the boat holds its value much better. So I think you really should consider that if you're thinking about buying a new boat. When you go to upgrade, or when you go to get rid of the aluminum boat, it's pretty much the same thing that you bought when you took it off the showroom floor. Now the last thing we got to talk about is safety. And in the next video, I'm not sure what you're gonna think or what you're gonna feel about the links that we went to prove to y'all what these boats can do. I don't know what we could have did a little different to make this still going.